Hey, almost 10 weeks into the road construction project now. I'll head outside in a second and show some of the latest work in front of the house, but we're about as optimistic as we've been over the last 6 weeks. The rumor is that the grand opening for this entire project will be December 10th, but that all the works will be done by November 30th. They just started on the other side of the street about 10 days ago, so that gives me some hope that the majority of the work on our end and in front of our house could be done, or could be for the most part done in the next couple of weeks. We've been focused on our property issues, of course, in the garage, but there are 100 other small things that have made this something that really makes you work hard on a day-to-day basis, not to let it drive you insane. Because, 5 small things is nothing, but 100 small things, that's a little harder to overlook and to keep a smile on your face. And you kind of feel bad because you see the water trucks delivering water and filling other neighbors' cisterns every single day, so there's other people that are having to shell out cash because the city isn't getting them water also. But if we're the only ones without water, then it's probably a bit harder to get the attention of the government. It's really nice that the neighborhood has a group chat to discuss the various issues that are going on, and that really helps. It really makes you feel good to know that the majority of the people that live in this neighborhood want it to be a good, clean, safe area, and people are willing to help out each other. But for the most part, we've had to drag our trash to the end of the street every day, and then bring our dog food, cat litter, Allie's beer and vodka back up the street, and the entire road has had to find other places to put their cars, which has created a bit of a log jam on the surrounding streets. It's been great for the stoplight windshield washers because my car is constantly covered in construction dust. The street is often muddy. It has open sewer holes and ditches in the road, making it very dangerous to people that are trying to navigate it. One of our neighbors took a bad fall a couple weeks ago, as there's sometimes just not an easy path out of here. And the jackhammering in front of the house isn't my favorite, but I'm sure it's not a great time for that poor kid that has to operate it. And again, I want to say that all these workers, they're doing a great job. They're friendly, they're working hard, they're probably working for way too little pay, and they're in the same muddy, hot conditions that we're having to trudge through also each day. But we see the light at the end of the tunnel. Finally, 50 days after they destroyed half of our sidewalk right in front of our house, they removed the rest of the concrete, and they've begun to fill in those spaces. They've laid the tubes. They're leveling the street in front of our house, which gives us some hope that they're finished with the endless digging holes and filling holes. I messaged the attorney one more time, and he let me know that we hired him only to represent him for those 2 days, the day we went to City Hall and the day that everyone came out to take the measurements, which was the following day. We remembered things a little bit differently than he does, because what we remember is the neighbor messaged Allie and asked her to race down to City Hall because they needed us as a witness, as the city was using us to make a claim to the neighbor's property. And then later that evening in his office, he told us that he would not represent us the following day when the city came out to make their measurements, unless we paid him, which we thought was totally reasonable. But I can't do the math on how the neighbor asking us to go to City Hall was us hiring him. But he did tell me, he goes, if we want to keep working with him, he's happy to continue to work for us if we want to pay him more money. I think I'm going to say no to that, and hopefully that doesn't mean that he doesn't think that means that I'm saying yes. Okay, I'm gonna go out front. I'll show you the latest on what's going on out there. And again, despite everything I just said, we actually feel really good about where things are going. So let's go. Out front, lovely rainy day, Friday afternoon. Maybe 3 days ago, I asked some of the guys that were out front, I asked them when they were going to start putting down concrete on the road, and they had told me later this week or next week they would start, and they were going to start with sidewalks. So it's Friday afternoon, so maybe next week fall goes as planned, I guess. And the other thing is, once they start the sidewalks, perhaps that will be one more thing that gives us some hope that they're not going to touch the garage right here behind me. But there's a couple other things that give me some hope. One is that if you look where the meters are, right below there, there's basically a tube in the ground, and that's where they're going to run the electrical. So that having it right there is a positive sign that they're not going to touch the garage. It's Friday afternoon. We were told we'd get this letter saying that they were going to, what exactly they were going to do and with the garage, and if they touched it, that they would repair anything that they did to it. And we haven't heard from anybody about that, so that feels like a good positive sign. And then once all that's taken care of, you see they've done a little bit of damage to our driveway. So who knows if that's something that we really are going to fight that hard to fix. It may just be something we'll have to have the architect or just a local guy come out and try to do some repair work on it. But you know, if they don't touch the garage, we're willing to overlook a lot of other things. And so hopefully in another week or so, we'll see concrete going down for the sidewalks. And we kind of feel like if they do the sidewalk here, and they haven't touched it by the time there's concrete around this garage, then that's a pretty damn good sign that they're not going to touch it. And again, what we thought before is that they may not come out and just say, "Hey, we made a mistake about the garage. It's actually on your property," but instead that they would kind of do what is happening, which is we just maybe wouldn't hear anything and they wouldn't do anything. So that's the latest on the rooftop now. Get a bird's eye view of the construction project. Perhaps another week we get a sidewalk, and that could be as close to we get to some confirmation that the garage is not going to be touched, and then maybe we'll actually put things in the garage again. And we'll be sure to share that when it happens. And who knows, a couple of weeks we could actually have something that looks like a street here too. So again, it's been a bit of a frustrating experience, but we're optimistic that it's going to end up okay. And we'll see. All right, thanks a lot for watching. Take care.